exposed. Now we have Jill Biden getting the cold shoulder from Kamala Harris. They didn't even look at each other, crack a joke, smile, anything.
Harris campaign raised $1 billion, is in the red. We will never know where that money got spent.
Oh, is it true that they paid you $1 million for the endorsement for Kamala?
If this is how she's going to spend her donors' dollars, imagine what she would have done with our taxes.
All right, so the truth is continuing to be exposed. Now we have Jill Biden getting the cold shoulder from Kamala Harris. Then you have Melania Trump rejecting Jill Biden's invitation to the White House for tea. And then now the scandal is intensifying on what happened with the $1 billion that Kamala used during the campaign. Well, now we know who she paid. Why don't we start with Jill Biden?
Distinguished guests, Major General Trevor J. Brandenkamp, Commanding General of Joint Task Force, National Capital Region.
Now, it's possible that everybody is reading into this, but it's also possible that Jill Biden clearly has zero respect for anybody after what they did to her husband, right? They put the screws to him, forced him out of the race, then handed the nomination to Kamala Harris. I mean, if I was in her shoes, I definitely would be bitter too and hurt, clearly. Secondly, you saw that Kamala Harris was shaking everybody's hand except Jill Biden. They didn't even look at each other, crack a joke, smile, anything. It's as if they don't even know they're sitting next to each other. So I guess make of that what you will. But it's fascinating that we're finally seeing Kamala Harris come out from the shadows after her landslide defeat. Oh, I shouldn't say landslide because I guess now the left is freaking out about those words too. But Kamala Harris isn't the only person that is getting humiliated here. Jill Biden continued to get humiliated when Melania Trump rejected her invitation to meet with her at the White House over tea. Okay, so this was published by multiple outlets. This one is from New York Post. Melania Trump declines to meet with Jill Biden at White House, citing Mar-a-Lago raid. Now, before I go any further, you guys know exactly what's going on here. And if you were in Melania Trump's shoes, you might be able to agree with her on this, because how are you going to come up in my house, look through all my personal belongings when you're just looking for some documents? No apology, no acknowledgement, no, hey, now that the case was dropped and there was no wrongdoing, no public recognition of the damage that was done. So Melania Trump isn't going to play these games, okay? And I don't blame her for doing that. I mean, at this point, tradition is pretty much out the window, okay? What the Democratic Party did to Joe Biden the last 4 years in this country, the lying, the gaslighting, the propaganda through MSDNC. I mean, at this point, tradition is out the window. I mean, it is what it is. And we can blame both sides. It doesn't really matter, but we are where we are. And so I don't really blame Melania Trump for giving Jill Biden the cold shoulder, just like Kamala Harris did. So if we read this, it says she ain't going. A source familiar with Melania's decision told the Post Jill Biden's husband authorized the FBI snooping through her underwear drawer. The Bidens are disgusting. Jill Biden isn't someone Melania needs to meet. Now, Melania visited the White House following her husband's 2016 election win and received a tour from then First Lady Michelle Obama. After Trump lost his re-election bid in 2020, he failed to invite the Bidens to the White House before the Democrat officially assumed office, breaking the decades-old tradition. So there you go. The FBI raided Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence in August 2022, in its probe of the 45th president's withholding of classified White House documents. So it's probably not a good week for Jill Biden, right? I mean, number one, you got Kamala Harris giving you the cold shoulder. You guys looking like you're about to cut each other's throats. Then the former first lady, now the next first lady, again, Melania Trump, she won't meet with you. Joe Biden clearly is on the outside of the entire Democratic Party. Your husband was embarrassed when he went on to that debate stage and then they forced him out of the race. I mean, it's really not a good time for Joe Biden. All right, so if you guys are getting value from this video, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. If you want to support us further, go to the link in the description below, shop the merch store, or buy us a cup of coffee. Now, before we get to this whole scandal when it comes to the debt that Kamala Harris has on her hands in regards to who she paid during the election cycle, let's hear Peter Doocy question KJP at the White House about Kamala Harris coming back to the White House and meeting with Joe Biden.
We know that today, a week after the election, President Biden and Vice President Harris had a private lunch. How awkward was that?
I don't even understand. Why would it be awkward?
Because the president got squeezed out for her, and then she kept him at arm's length, and then she lost, and now she's back.
Why would you characterize it as awkward? They have regular lunches. They meet and talk regularly. Why would you call it awkward?
So there's no weirdness about the way that things have unfolded since
Did you see them?
Paper.
Did you see them together yesterday as well when they honored our veterans and were together during the day, making sure that we didn't forget the brave men and women that fought for this country? Did you see them together yesterday? Did you see the show of force together? This is. I'm not even going to take the premise of the question. What I will say is the president and the vice president had lunch today. They've had lunch many times. They communicate with each other regularly. They had an opportunity to discuss the last 70 days or so of this administration, how important it is to get things done for the American people. And that's their focus. That is genuinely their focus. Yes, Patsy.
Thank you, Corinne. On his prayer with President.
Okay, so they communicate with each other regularly. Okay, yeah, that's what the results say. Sure. I mean, that's why Joe Biden was contradicting her during her campaign. Makes total sense. Every step of the way, he's there, right? She was last person in the room. He's been the last person in the room. Got it. God, they just think we're that stupid, okay? If you just pay attention and really do the research, you'll see that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris probably don't really speak to each other that often, okay? This is a president who hasn't even spoken to Nancy Pelosi. His staffers hate her staffers. I mean, we're not that dumb. And speaking of the fact that people are not that stupid, when you raise $1 billion and you go into debt by $20 million, the number one question is, what did you do with the money? Well, now it's being actually confirmed who was paid what. Listen to this.
We learned two things about Kamala this election. She's good at raising money and she's good at blowing it. One campaign source said people were concerned about their own financial issues, not Oprah telling them America won't exist. But it worked out nicely for Oprah. She got her friend Kamala to pay her $1 million to interview her in September. $1 million. Now, if she thought she was saving democracy, she should have done it for free. Kamala went on a podcast, remember Call Her Daddy? But she didn't want to go to their studio in L.A. So she made the host fly to D.C. and used campaign cash to build a fake set in a hotel room. She spent more than $100,000 to build it. 24 hours after the election, on Wednesday, Democrats got a text from the campaign. Urgent. We need help. Donate now. Help with what? You lost. If this is how she's going to spend her donors' dollars, imagine what she would have done with our taxes.
Yes, you heard that correctly. Let's go through the numbers again. $10 million to Beyonce. No wonder when you heard Beyonce speak in Houston, she didn't sound believable whatsoever. She sounded like she got paid to say what she said, just like all these other celebrities, right? That's number one. Number two, Megan Thee Stallion. Oh, yeah, Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah, she was trotted out in order to try to get the black vote. Yeah, I don't believe this is probably the best way to run a political campaign. Just don't see how that paints the picture that this is a candidate that understands you and is going to save you money and secure the border and get rid of these foreign wars. Yeah, I don't think this was an actual good choice. And then you have Lizzo, which we already know about that, 2.3. I mean, what I find interesting, they all got paid more than Eminem. I don't know. I thought he'd probably get paid more, but whatever. 1.8. I find Eminem to be interesting because he's like a Howard Stern. In the very beginning, they used to be against people like Kamala Harris. Now they're up their ass for some reason. I just don't understand it, but whatever.
Hey Oprah, good morning. How are you, darling? You looking very good. How do you think the election went?
Not talking about the election. Thank you very much.
Oh, is it true that they paid you $1 million for the endorsement for Kamala?
Not true.
Not true, okay.
I was paid nothing, ever.
What do you think about all the celebrities with their mass exodus?
I'm not talking about it.
Do you think Prince Harry's gonna lose his visa now that Trump's president? Thank you, Oprah.
Okay, so I thought that was interesting. Of course, she's going to deny it. I mean, come on, why would she admit it, right? But here are the receipts. I mean, she got paid twice, $500,000 each. Harris for president, right here, boom. Harpo Productions, which is Oprah's media company. So she's right. She didn't get paid directly, but her company did. So
Every year, every cycle, the DNC spends hundreds of millions of dollars. This year, well over $1 billion. And guess what? I have no idea where it's going to go. The Harris campaign raised $1 billion, is in the red. We will never know where that money got spent. We will never evaluate was it effective or not. People give $3 donations monthly because they think we have no idea where that money goes.
I mean, you could really go back to January and make every single story that came out with the Democratic Party a reality TV show. I mean, just think about everything that took place and where we are now. So it's not a shock to me to see Kamala Harris treat Joe Biden that way, or Joe Biden treat Kamala Harris that way. It's also not a shock that she basically wasted $1 billion, right? I mean, one has to ask, was it really that they truly believed in the endorsement, or was it just another way for people to get paid? I'm just curious about that. And when you raid someone's home like Mar-a-Lago in the way that you did it, without offering any type of public apology, given that the case was dropped, yeah, I probably wouldn't meet with you over tea either. I mean, that's kind of disrespectful, right? And they don't really treat Melania Trump with the respect she truly deserves. Well, that is my opinion. It's just a straight up disaster. What do you guys think about Joe Biden ignoring Kamala Harris, or vice versa? What do you think about Melania Trump also rejecting Joe Biden? And what do you think about this scandal that is intensifying, showing where Kamala Harris spent the money when people are owed money, right? Let me know what your comments or thoughts are in the comment section below. Now, another, I guess, scandal, if you want to say it is that ratings have continued to drop for MSDNC and CNN to the point where now people need to be laid off. The networks need to be sold. And so we did a video diving deep on that. And if you want to check it out, all you have to do is click on it because it's coming up right now.